I think we are live. I'm checking to see shadows. Couple minutes to go. Okay, Jenny, Kathy. Hey, Jenny. Yeah, I'm glad you're making it. And Kathy is here. Let's get this to show comments. There we go. Yay, Kathy. Yeah, I'm glad you made it, kiddo. Although it's always saved, so if you need to watch it, you got it. Okay, is it almost time? It is. It is time, so we're gonna get started. I think I've got it where I can actually, on my iPad, where I can actually maybe see who's here and see comments if any are made today. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so just reiterating what we did yesterday and what we're gonna do today. Got our moss put on and with the varnish, and I don't know about yours, but mine is on there pretty good, and only a little bit of sloughing off there of stuff, and so that's not a big deal at all. We got our background started on the sunrise or sunset, whatever you want to call it. We've got our trees done. We've got our background here on the landscape. So what I'd like to do today is to first off paint the tree and let that start drying. And once I have the tree painted, and that point I'm probably going to go up to the foliage up here and do some detail painting in there, add some different colors in there, and then come back down here and add, do the background here. So what I've done is I've mixed white with a few drops of Van Dyke brown. It's just making this very creamy color here that'll make a nice first coat for my tree. Hopefully it will hide the watercolors that are on there at the moment. We will see here. So our brush ready here. I'm gonna have to do this tree very carefully. Okay, because I do not want it to get on anything else. So one of the good things and the bad things about textures, the good thing is it's texture and we love texture, but the bad thing is that sometimes it's a challenge to paint to get down into all those little crevices. So when you're putting on a coat of paint that's not very different from the color of the molding paste, that makes it a little more challenging to know what I've painted and what I haven't, but I figure if I miss it today, I'm going to catch it on another coat tomorrow. sure why my light is swinging around here. I hope a cat does just not jump onto the light. That would not be good. And that's the light doing that, not me. Kind of weird. Either that or somebody slipped something in my morning chai that I didn't know about. I hope everybody's doing okay during this time, crazy time that we're having here. I know I'm very, very lucky to be where I am. We're out here in the country in Texas, very close to Lake Whitney. Very rural area. Our town's population is probably about 2,500 maybe. There's no cases here of the virus yet, although who knows with the testing the way it is, but so far so good. We've got a little over an acre and a half and a huge pond and trees and no close neighbors. It's wonderful. So we just kind of hang out with the birds and the snapping turtles and live life as we can. I guess the biggest challenge is groceries. I don't know about you, but every time it's just like going to a funeral, that's the first thing you want to do is take food, you know, to the people. This food is something that comforts people. So I have this fear of starving, so have to have groceries around. Okay, this is covering up the watercolor pretty well. And it's just thick enough. I'm using the golden fluids. It's just thick enough that it's not running over into the crackle paste at the sides. Thank goodness. That could be a nightmare, which is why I really was adamant that this had to dry another day. Otherwise, it could have been catastrophic there. Okay, I'm going to turn this around so I can work on this a little more easily. There we go. Okay, you can see that. Up here at the edge. I got a little bit on there with the watercolor. This brush is kind of damp, so I just use my brush to go on there and wipe off where I was sloppy. However, if you are thinking that maybe your branches aren't wide enough or you want to extend them, you can do so with your paint while you're doing this. I don't know if Carolyn's on here or not, but she has been working hard on her piece, and it really looks awesome. She used coffee grounds for her texture, coffee grounds and eggshells, which made her coat, the color of the molding paste, it really turned it a lot darker, which was great. She can start with that color. It's awesome. If you do not have glass, and the odds are probably good that you won't have glass to do your sun, then think about creatively what are some other things that you might do. Got sloppy again. That would look good besides glass. You might think about beads. If you have red or orange or yellow beads, you could use those. I like using foil for a lot of things. You could crumple up some foil and use in there, cut it in a circle or whatever and put it in there. Collaging, fabric, all sorts of stuff. Okay, let's turn this back around here. I see that some of my watercolor is bleeding through kind of here, so I'm just gonna go over that a little more. Make sure you get it really good. Again, if that happens, don't sweat it because you'll be coming back over this for another coat anyway. Okay, let's see. So I've got that, and here I am. I should have just kept it that way. Let's look at the foliage here. What can we do with the foliage? I mean, yeah, it's pretty the way it is, but I have a hard time leaving anything alone. I always like to add color. I love color, so I thought I would try to, I'm going to use some of the Vivids on here. This is the kiwi and the olive vine. And again, these both come in powders. So a powder is going to look like this in a little jar. And I want to show you the stuff that you mix with it. This is called Vivid Ultrametallics Multi-Surface Acrylic Medium Gloss Enamel. Long title for that name. You can mix your powder in with this to the consistency that you want it. Now I have some that I have done here that I have mixed up with some colors. I've got a teal, zircon, olive vine, emerald, and ginger peach, which is probably my favorite of the golds that they offer. So I was actually using those for pours, and then I decided, oh, that'll be kind of cool. So what am I going to do first? Okay. First thing I'm going to do, because these have been sitting on my shelf, is I'm going to kind of stir them around a little bit, make sure that all the powder is in there. This is very thick. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while. It doesn't mean it's unusable, it just means it's thick, which for what we're doing right now, that's fine. And now I'm just going to start brushing it on here in places. This is a metallic, so it's going to add some sheen. What I'm going for here are the places where it's already darker. It's not necessary that you get every branch. I just want to get it in there. So just add some color or some interest. And I just like things that are shiny. Now notice I've got these white spots in here. That's fine. I might, at this point in time, actually put some paint in there. Kind of going over the edge of my canvas. So I have not painted the edge of my canvas yet. I'm really bad about that, actually. I tend to start things, and then when I finish, I'll go back and paint edges and stuff. I get so excited about starting the piece that I don't want to stop and do that. I want to get to it. And I may, when all is said and done, I may come back in and add a little more of the moss. I kind of doubt it because I think I'm going to be taking care of anything I want to take care of, like I'm doing right now, but you never know. I do have a tendency to go back and fix things or change them up. There's nothing wrong with that. Some of my best pieces have been redos. What I think are my best pieces. That's all that's important is what you think, right? a good way to use this up too. I've been wanting to do that because I just have it a little bit left in the jar, and there's no sense in just letting them sit there. So go ahead and get them. Okay, that's pretty much taking care of that jar. Alrighty, let's see what else we got here. We have some teal zircon. Ooh, yum. This is a delicious color. This is much runnier than the other stuff. So we'll see. I'm not even bothering to wipe off my brush. I'm just getting it in there. Okay, ooh, that's adding some pretty color in there. So I'm not going to put it as try to cover as much as I did with the olive vine. But I like color in there. Why not? This is not supposed to be a totally realistic tree here. It can be whatever you want it to be. And in my world, trees have color. So by golly, that's what we're going for. Now, this brand color art is not by any stretch of the imagination the other only metallic that you can find. I use what is it? Jacquard Lumiere. Is that what it is? I use those. There is what is this? Sargent liquid metal. I've used those. Let's see. I'm looking to see the comments here. Hey, hi Neva. Ah, good to see you guys. You see my face staring up there? Okay. Okay, let's see here. I also have a tendency to, a little color is never as good as a lot of color. Okay, this emerald green is truly emerald green. I am probably not going to use as much of this as I did the other, just because it's brighter. And I am going to save this ginger peach till all this dries, and I'll go back because it's a really, it looks very orangey, but it's a gold with a hint of orange, which is really, really pretty. Okay. Okay, maybe just a touch of this. I might even come back in here with some blues, maybe some oranges, some more colors like that. I don't know what I'll do until this is dry and I've looked at it and I can evaluate what I want to do next. And I am a huge proponent of just follow your train of thought. You know, do what you're thinking of. Spur of the moment, just go for it. That's the only way to create, well, in my opinion. That's the way I am. I don't plan squat. So, okay. We've got our tree with lots of different colors on it there. Let's turn this back around. And let's talk about down here. I'm going to start with not the vivids because the vivids are rather transparent. So I like to use them for just detail painting or adding on top of layers that I already have down. I don't start anything with using this as a base coat. So I've got my sap green hue here for from Golden, and I also have the green gold from Golden. These are fluid acrylics. So that's what I'm going to use here. We'll see how that goes. Now, Goldens are fluid, so they're not totally opaque either, but more than the Vivids would be. As I'm brushing this, some of those little balls that I used are coming off, and That's fine. It doesn't matter. Be careful as you go around your trees. You don't paint it green. Although if you want to, that's fine too. I'm not trying for complete coverage here. Just trying to make sure, get the high spots. It's more of that. Okay, this is a really good way too, since my here is really hard to see the texture going on with this tissue and with the soft gel. So this is putting a dark color on here is really good for helping your texture show up so you know what you got going on, where you need to add stuff if necessary. And there's no reason why you can't go back and add more texture if you want to. I'm not really sure about these little mini balls here, but since I'm also planning on going back and adding some moss down here, I think it'll be fine. It works with that, I think. If not, I'll try something else. So the stuff that I added onto the foliage is going to take a while to dry, so I won't be able to work anymore on that up there today until that dries. And it's probably going to take a little while for my tree to dry. We'll see. Okay. All right, let's see. I want a little more. Not in here. Okay, that's all I'm going to do on that right now. Okay, let's see. Caroline, shiny stuff like a crow, yes. Magpie, whatever it is that collects stuff. Okay, I was looking, let me make sure I've got this centered. There we go. I actually drew a line down this side so I could make sure I didn't go, you guys weren't missing half the piece here. Up that way. Okay. All right. I think I might be able to work a little bit on this. As I was looking at it yesterday, one thing that I really liked about it was, I don't know if you can see this very well, but up here, see how that blue has gone into those crackles? I really, really liked that a lot. It didn't do it so much here. So I would like to go in and I'm going to pull in some more blue into here. And hopefully I don't completely screw it up, but hey, again, if I do, I'll fix it one way or another. Not a big deal. Okay, got my water bottles here. Always keep them right up close to me because I need those. But I need to also be careful that I try to avoid these wet areas, so we're kind of walking the line here. So I'm just carefully spraying a little bit in here. Trying to avoid my tree if possible. Now you'll notice how much more vibrant the colors are when they're wet. That's normal. When I get to the end and I seal the rest of the piece with varnish, those colors are gonna, it'll reactivate them, it's gonna pop them back out again. So, okay, let's see if I can make this happen. Okay, there we go. I decided I had way too much yellow going on here and I really wanted more of my blues. Okay, well, okay, can you see the difference in that? How much better that is to have, instead of these, what I've got bands of color going on, this is starting to integrate, which is exactly what I want it to do. So, let's see here. These parts that are really close to my tree, I can just use a wet brush to kind of bring that in a bit. Okay, let's see here. And by the way, this is azurite. I know I'm not saying that correctly, but I really like the way that's coming in there, so I'm just going to add more of it carefully. Squirt. Okay, ooh, look at how pretty that is coming down in there. Yeah. Crackle paste is just, it's just cool stuff. Okay, now I'm starting to get into my yellow, so I may start to pull in some green, which I really don't want a whole lot of that, so I'm gonna not use much of the blue. Try and keep it away from that as I can. I just love it. Okay, and now for this side over here. Okay, got some green going on, but wow, I'm liking it. It's kind of cool here. I think I need some more going on over here. So. Okay, well, I like this. I like this a lot. I can tell you that what I'm probably going to want to do tomorrow is I'm going to want to come in with a darker or another coat, another layer of pink in there, because I really want that pink to pop, but not necessarily the yellow as much. Let's try some. I like that that's going right around there, so let's see if I can't do something similar on the other side. You never know. That's one of the wonderful things in working so much with water, is that you don't know exactly what it's going to do. You just don't. So you do what you can. Okay, that's wet. Tree's wet, background's wet, this is wet. So that's where we are today. I'm telling you, this could take, we'll probably get our finished coats, a lot of them done tomorrow. Coming back in, but as you know, layers just take time to dry, and rather than me sitting here with the heat gun trying to blow this dry while you watch, I would rather you just spend your time doing something more enjoyable than watching paint dry. So we'll let this dry overnight, and tomorrow, it's hot here today in the 80s, so it should be very, very dry, and I can come back and touch up places like here where that's kind of going into my tree, but that's okay because I kind of like that too. So it's coming along. It's going to be, I think, a pretty cool piece. Love my trees, and I'd say a couple more days on this piece, and then I'm going to show you how to do the tree using the plaster cloth. And if you notice, one of the example pictures that I had shown you had text on it. And I'll show you how I did that as well. Okay, so once again, you guys enjoy your time at home. Hopefully you're all at home, and stay safe. Love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.